I want to spend a little bit of time sharing the essence of a project charter and describe its relationship to a statement of work. Since a project charter kicks off the project and starts the ball rolling, it's vital that everyone associated with your project has the same understanding of its purpose. You must follow a logical process to determine and develop a project charter. It doesn't come about by just flipping a switch. It requires in-depth thought and includes key inputs such as the statement of work, any contractual conditions, your strategic plan, your line of business, your company culture, your financial position, and your image. So where does a project charter come from? A high-level employee, usually a manager or some other executive, puts everything in motion. This manager can initiate the project, but in more cases, he or she will put a stamp of approval on the project idea. This clears the road for the project manager to move forward and begin making things happen. The charter provides authority to commit organizational resources to project tasks. So in a sense, it works like a traditional organizational structure which delegates authority from the top of the structure to lower levels. I view the project charter as a dynamic document. It needs to include certain things, including customer requirements, business needs, assumptions and constraints, and of course, financial projections. In most cases, you'll update these elements as you move forward. For example, you may not have a completely accurate picture of project cost, but this should not prevent you from developing or approving the project charter. You'll need to take your best shot in coming up with what you'll spend on the project and then refine your estimates later. The same thing applies to customer requirements. You'll also need to update them if and when they change. The project charter is also a perfect place to define the project manager's authority. Some of the authority areas include the role of customer contact, bringing together all the various project resources in the organization, setting project objectives, preparing a work breakdown structure, creating the project schedule, directing work, and resolving conflicts. Turning to the statement of work, the project management body of knowledge tells us that a statement of work is a narrative description of the end results to be provided. So think of it as type of a checklist. If you want a waterfall fish pond combination built in your backyard and you give a contractor a statement of work, you're expecting all the things you specify, including rocks, a bridge, plants, a pump, underwater lights, and of course, fish. I hope we agree that the customer is in the best position to prepare the statement of work, but they could use some help. Your customer may not have the expertise to give you a complete statement of work, so you may need to give assistance by providing an example and giving feedback. But ultimately, it should be your customer's statement of work. And if you're going to outsource or subcontract some of your project tasks, you'll need to give your supplier a contract statement of work called a CSOW. It's similar to a standard statement of work, except it designates you as the recipient of work and that you tell the supplier what you expect. Here are some helpful hints I can share with you to develop a statement of work. First, requirements should not be overspecified. Customers should ask for what they truly need. People sometimes ask for more than what they need, hoping they'll get what they want at a minimum. Next, abbreviations and jargon should be carefully used. Industry standards are fine, but it's a good idea to also include a glossary to define these jargons and abbreviations. Procedures must be followed to produce the statement of work so that there is an orderly progression. Next, a team is much better at putting together a statement of work than just one individual. The statement of work items should be prioritized to make sure the right level of importance is given to each item. And finally, A table of contents should be used to identify sections, especially for lengthy statement of work. So this concludes this brief presentation about the project charter and statement of work. I hope it was helpful. Just keep in mind that these two activities, these two documents must precede all other project management tasks if you want to have a successful project outcome.